Hey, how we doing on this Thursday morning, guys? It's always a nice morning to wake up after a win. Every time, it never gets old. I've slept on it. I've thought about it. This is Tennessee versus Georgia the next day. Tennessee takes care of business last night in a game that, I saw the gnashing of the teeth and things of that nature in the first half. But what a second half, 74-56. And just a dominant second half. And I think you had to feel pretty good because I felt like in that first half, Tennessee obviously was not shooting the ball well. They were, their defense was good, but you had to feel like at home the shots were going to start to fall at some point, and they most certainly did in the second half. So I'm going to talk about the good. I think there is a little bit of a concern, and I think a lot of you probably share the same concern, but it is just a few games, though. But make sure you hit that like, that share, that subscribe. Talked about it last time on my football video. We're taking a sabbatical from post-game shows for a while, as it's just become a lot to try to do with covering men's and women's. Definitely going to do post-game. Like to get a little more videos going for that, but it's going to be a sabbatical. We may go back to the Monday night show because it's just a lot. You think about it, it's anywhere from 3 to 4 hours a week of live shows, and it's just kind of the approach of work smarter, not harder. And that's kind of, we're growing more through videos than we are the live. The live streams are great because it builds community. Y'all are awesome. You guys that tune in regularly, cannot thank you enough for that. But for the time being, at least up until baseball season, we'll do some more basketball post game later on. We're going to take a little bit of a sabbatical right now and regroup and move forward as we're focusing on some other things. But again, that first half, I was laughing last night because I saw the reaction on social media. This team can't shoot. They're horrific offensively. People weren't saying that prior to the Florida game. There were some moments that they were, but overall, people were pretty happy with that. And, just to kind of put it in perspective right now, Ken Palm, Tennessee still ranks 24th in offensive efficiency. That's a pretty good basketball team right there. You look at it, Auburn number 1. The teams they got and have, Ken Palm has Tennessee ranked 5th right now behind Auburn, Duke, Houston, and Iowa State. And all 4 of those teams rank much higher offensively, but defensively, Tennessee ranks 4th, where you've got Houston first, Duke second with it. There's a common denominator in there, and you look at Tennessee's schedule. They've lost to, according to Ken Palm, number 6 Florida. They beat number 8 Illinois on the road, and I think that's one of the more underrated wins of the year in what Tennessee's done. But I know going back to into the Bahamas, the Virginia game, first half, I started seeing about how awful this basketball. This is a 4 to a 5 seed. I seen some of the comments, and then the second half happened and nothing. Illinois, there were some rough patches. You're going to get that. I was texting with a buddy of mine last night who's an Auburn fan, and he had gone to watch Auburn play Saturday, and he said, we were both agreeing because he said, Carolina played Auburn tough. He's like, yeah, he did. And that's just the SEC. I think any night you get a road win in the SEC, you need to be happy, whether it's by 1 point or more. Tennessee went at Texas. I know Texas has had a rough go at it. I've not seen if they won last night or not. I can pull that up real quick. But Texas going into last night was 0-3. So, you still, though, you take that. I don't think there's at any point that you complain about a road win in the SEC this year, not with how good they've been in non-conference, and we'll see where they are moving forward. Texas did beat Oklahoma on the road last night. Oklahoma team come in conference play undefeated, and now they're 0 for the SEC so far. So it just goes to show you it's no walk in the park. And I bet you if some of these ACC teams come over as well, they wouldn't have a walk in the park either. And I would put the SEC against the ACC any day of the week right now. Not over history, but currently I would put them there. But Talking about the good last night. Of course, first half, Tennessee shot 27% from three. They shot, field goals, 20% from threes. Tennessee shot 100% from the free throw line last night. That's what I'm talking about right there. 10 out of 10. Ziegler, Milicic, both 2 out of 2. Jordan Gainey, 6 out of 6. Now, I would like to see more guys get the line. The fact that Chaz, I'll talk about my concern. Chaz goes 2 for 16, 1 out of 9 threes. He doesn't get to the free throw line. I think his game needs to be a little bit more getting to the rim, and he's settling too much for the jump shot. And I think that's starting to affect him as well. He come out of the gate against Arkansas with 29 points, but the last 3 games, I know he scored in double digits against Florida and Texas, but they were not effective. And last night was a tough night as well. So I think you got to be a little concerned on that. Couple games I can deal with 3. He needs to – we really need him to rebound quickly against Vanderbilt this coming weekend as he I think he'll be fine. Dalton Connect went through stretches last year where he struggled as well. That's just this conference. But I think there's a little bit of concern right now. And here's the thing, Rick Barnes is going hard on him. How's he responding to that? Is that affecting it? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud on this. Sometimes you just get in a slump. But I think if Chaz comes out of the gate, whether it's Vanderbilt game, whether it's after that, if he comes out and hits that first shot, he's on. He'll roll from there. You wait and see with it. Seems to be streaky. It seems like that first shot a lot of times sets the tone for him along the way. And because he goes on those streaks where when he hits one, he normally hits 2 or 3 in a row. A little bit of cause for concern, but I'm not just totally there yet. Second half, though, for Tennessee, totally different story as they go 57.5% field goals, right at 42% from 3. I don't see I wish they'd had their points broken down by half here to see how they did. But Ziegler, he was fantastic last night. 16 points, 7 assists, 6 steals on the night. He really paced this team a lot. Jordan Gainey was the leading scorer, 19. He had a really good night. He looked really good. He had 7 rebounds to go along with it. So really where Lanier was down with 5 points, Gainey picked up the slack with 19. Jemai Mashak was big. We had talked on one of our last live shows. We said we'd like to see a little more from him offensively. And I understand what his role is. His role is not to score 15, 20 points a night. But I'd still like to see a little bit more from him. And I saw some things I liked last night. I still maintain he could be a double-digit per night scorer if needed. He pulled up, and the one that stood out to me that made his 10th and 11th points, he pulled up and hit a little shot right around the free throw line. That seemed like an easier shot. There's a lot of guys miss that. And he looked nice. It was a nice-looking shot. Nothing but net on it. I like that. But Jemai Mashak come out of the second half, had, 5 points out of the gate, and that really set the tone for this team, and they kind of rolled from there. Milicic just shy of a double-double, 9 points, 9 rebounds, and then he had 3 fouls, 3 assists, 3 turnovers, and 3 steals on the night. 3 out of 7, 1 out of 4, 3-point. Milicic got a technical, thought it was pretty funny on it. He went in, dunked it, and he let the Georgia guy know it, too. I don't know if he got in trouble for it. There's times, whatever. I don't care. I remember back to last year, that Georgia game, Georgia running their mouth, and they fired Dalton Connect up. Because that was my first really high view video of around 1,000 on this channel. I got pretty fired up. I said, if you're going to jive and dance, you better be able to back it up. And Georgia couldn't back it up last year, and Dalton Connect smoked them in that second half, which was awesome. But Milicic was feeling last night. Again, I mentioned Chaz, 5 points, 4 rebounds. Chaz is making contributions, but it's like Rick Barnes said, he's paid to shoot. He's paid to score on here. Felix Akpar, 4 points, 3 blocks, 7 boards. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for out of him. Control the paint, do your thing. Gaining 19.7 boards. Cade Phillips had a really good night as well. 10 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists on the night. I would like to see Phillips. The one thing I would like to see if he had like a mid-range game. If he did, he's an NBA player. I'm just telling you right now, he is an NBA player if he develops a mid-range game. Looking at the rebound column, see, Georgia had 29. Tennessee had 35. So Tennessee did win the rebounding battle. Where are we at here? Let's see, turnovers. Tennessee forced 19. They only had 10. They had 16 assists to 10 turnovers. Georgia, on the other hand, 9 assists to 19 turnovers. That's a really good night defensively for Tennessee. And they held Georgia for the night, 37.7 field goals, 28.6 3-point. Georgia did get to the line 12 times, pretty even on both teams. So not a lot of free throws. That tells me there was a lot of settling for jumpers. I mean, Tennessee shot 27 threes. Georgia shot 21 on the night. But, to me, that's a good game. That's a good bounce back after what was a tough week last week with Florida. A grinded out game against Texas, but this team took care of business last night. No ifs, no doubts. Yeah, the first half was a little iffy. Second half, though, that's why I always say let the game play out. Let the game play out. I see people jumping to conclusions in the first half. You're welcome to do what you want to on it. My advice, though, let it play out. Let the game play out. At the end, if you want to gripe and complain, that's fine. But that second half, right at 50 points, that's a great second half for this team. Tennessee returns to action Saturday at 3:30 against Vanderbilt. Looks like that is on the SEC network. Vanderbilt did beat South Carolina at home last night. It's an SEC road game. It is Vanderbilt. It is in-state rivalry. I totally expect it's going to be a dogfight on Saturday. But you guys have a great Thursday. Make sure you hit that like, that share, that subscribe. Hoping to get our baseball preview started tonight. I've got to record some stuff on the pitchers. Carrie's got some stuff recorded already for the infielders. And then we're going to be ready to rock and roll on that. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And it's always a great day to wear the orange.